Who are the top 3 teams in the NFC today, right now, as we speak, Sean?
Yeah, it's a great question, Rachel. And I almost feel like we have to categorize this. Are we talking about regular season or postseason? Because if it's regular season, then it's the Green Bay Packers. They're at number 1. But if we're talking about the games that actually matter in the postseason, they're 3rd on this list. So give me the Bucks, give me the Rams, and the Packers. Because when it comes down to who's going to play their best football when the game is on the line, we saw both the Bucks and the Rams do it last year. Obviously, the Bucks didn't win that game against the Rams, but the year before that, they did. So I think when you look at the Brady factor coming back, obviously that's huge. But I think when you look at what the Rams have done now, they just signed Bobby Wagner. They've added offensively Allen Robinson to that dynamic, explosive run game play action. I still think that the Rams might be the most explosive offense in the NFC right now. And look, Cooper Kupp right now, the fact that he's got another year with Stafford.
Yeah.
I put the Packers 3rd on this list because I just don't know yet if they can still keep up with those 2 teams.
It's a fair question. Rodgers has lost in consecutive NFC Championship games. He then lost, obviously, to the 49ers a couple years back as well in a big NFC Championship game. And I'm sorry, they didn't even reach the NFC Championship game this past year. So it's fair to question, what they're going to do when it matters. And yet, I can't not include Green Bay. And Davante Adams is a big loss. Now we need to know if Rodgers can lead and then say, hey, not only lead, but now groom and get these other guys going, because it's not going to just be Rodgers throwing a football and then magically someone's going to be Davante Adams. He's not there. I'll tell you what, Marquez Valdes-Scantling's not there anymore. I think Valdes-Scantling was a really good deep threat for them and a guy that Rodgers actually grew to trust towards the end of his time in Green Bay. You're losing 2 main targets. Davante Adams may be the best wide receiver in the sport. Yeah, you got Rodgers, and if you're telling me Aaron Rodgers without Davante Adams is going into Dallas, who's winning? I'm taking Aaron Rodgers without Davante Adams. He's going into Washington to fight against the Commanders and Carson. I'm taking him. Mm-hmm. Eagles, I'm taking him. Mm-hmm. Giants, I'm taking him. I can go through every single team. And I think one of the reasons why is I like their coach. I think LaFleur can coach his butt off, and I think he's going to show us this season that it wasn't just the Rodgers and Adams deal. This is, guys, history of the game stuff. What Matt LaFleur is doing. First 40 games as an NFL head coach, Matt LaFleur is behind Guy Chamberlain, who coached in the 30s. That's the only guy. He's ahead of Paul Brown, ahead of George Halas. He's ahead of Bill Walsh. He's ahead of everybody. And like, now he's had 3 straight 13-3 seasons, and they all come with an asterisk because they lost in the playoffs. You're asking me if they're a top 5, top 3? Yes, they're in the conversation still. LaFleur and Rodgers, that alone is going to keep them relevant. And I can't pick the Vikings, the Bears, or the Lions in the NFC North, even if Davante Adams is gone. Just based on the coach and the quarterback, I think they're superior to everyone else in that division.
At some point, LaFleur will coach a season without Rodgers, and I really look forward to that because that's going to be fascinating. He has that sort of early Eric Spoelstra vibe when he was coaching the Heat, and it was like, well, Eric Spoelstra, you're just a pass.
Question for you guys real quick, because LaFleur hasn't gotten that big contract extension. We saw Cliff get one, McVay's going to get one, and of course, we see now what Bowles is getting. If you're LaFleur, do you cash your chips in now and say, I need that contract extension now? Or do you wait till after this season and show what you can do without Davante Adams?
I don't know. I go back to that MVP speech by Aaron Rodgers, and he was just like, I've won these 2 years in a row. And he was talking to LaFleur. I think you've got a pretty big impact on that. You're the reason why I'm up here holding this thing.
I did too. And Rodgers came to really advocate for him. Maybe that helps, but his contract, or his career is going to be fascinating.
Still on his first contract.
Schrags, if Green Bay does it right, he shouldn't have to ask. And that's the whole beef with what Aaron Rodgers had with the management was, look, what are we doing? Like, well, let's take care of our guy. We're not going to hold him to the fire and make him beg for an extension. Like, do the right thing.
Well, listen, I started the show saying it's 303 days until the Rams play the Bucs in the NFC title game. I really do believe those teams are huge front runners. And I also put the Packers 3rd just on the strength of Rodgers. My question is, if your life depended on it right now, and you had to pick a team in the NFC to be in the title game that is not Rams, Bucs, or Packers, who would you pick? Who would you stake your life on that, like, I think they can do it? Because Rachel, you have an answer already? Go ahead.
I'm putting my hand up.
Go ahead, put your hand. Rachel Bonetta.
For a spicy little take.
What do you got?
49ers.
Okay. 49ers with Trey Lance as their quarterback and maybe Jimmy.
49ers, I'm hoping that they do keep Jimmy. There was one healthy season of Jimmy's. If he can stay healthy, he went to the Super Bowl. He also brought them to almost a second Super Bowl with a torn ligament in his throwing hand. If he can stay healthy, the rest of the team is insane. Deebo Samuel is insane. He's like a player we've never even seen before. If they can stay healthy, which is a big if because I know he's missed like 25 games in the last few seasons. If they can stay healthy, the 49ers are scary.
Jimmy won't be the quarterback.
That's the
Jimmy
big
won't
if.
be the quarterback.
I
don't see it.
Peter, why not? Go ahead.
Can they win with Trey? That's my question to you.
I don't think so because we haven't seen enough of Trey.
All right, so that's exactly the point. There's 50 different ifs with the Niners. Who is that team that you're like, I think they can make it run? Is it the Vikings? New head coach. Are you going to stake your life that Kirk Cousins is going to win 2 playoff games? The Cowboys, don't make me laugh. The Cardinals, I can't possibly get behind the Cardinals after what I saw. Maybe they'll make the playoffs and everything, but like, you think Kyler is going to the title game next year? Would you stake your life on it? Maybe he will. And then there's weird outliers like in the Bengals mold of like no one would predict the Bengals being the title game. The Saints with Jameis and a new head coach. The Bears with a really talented young quarterback and a new head coach. Someone could get nuts and be the team that's there because I don't see a we can depend on. Philly deserves some credit. All right, hold on. I'm trying to guess who you're going to say.
No, I have a.
What do you got?
The Bengals made the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, right. And imagine if you said that last year. I think the Bengals would make the Super Bowl. You'd be laughed off the set.
So pick any of those teams.
But which one is more likely?
Who are you leaning towards?
Yeah, Peter.
Green Bay is stock, right?
Those 3 are out.
You know the team that really intrigues me?
Who takes a run?
I think Minnesota with a new coach and with those receivers and with I think they really do have a shot if they like. Not that Zim was, but like it wasn't changing with Zim. Like maybe this is what they needed, a new young offensive head coach in O'Connell that he brings everything and all boats rise. And maybe this is the Vikings year once and for all. But even that, I'm like pitching it to you as like a used
that's
car
the
salesman.
point.
In a world.
Yeah, right? Like
dreams come true.
I mean, when you say life, I mean that's like going Bible on it.
That's
right.
It's
tough. The Saints are an interesting team, but we still.
You're going to stake your life on Jameis Winston?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like there's too much risk right there.
I think that's a team that deserves a little run, and it's not sexy, and people are loath to embrace them. Are the Eagles? The Eagles made the playoffs with a brand new head coach, a really raw quarterback. They run, they play D, they have the intangible stuff going. And they were in the playoffs a year ago, and you're like, Philly, whatever. The whole NFC East is like it doesn't exist.
Right now, Howard Katz and Mike North, they're making the schedule. And Fox is out in L.A., and they might be waking up this morning. They usually have the predominant NFC games. Like, someone needs to make a decision at the schedules, and at Fox be like, well, okay, besides those 3 teams... And the Cowboys, obviously.
Who gets the run?
Like, who gets the run?
And I think.
It's wide open.
Is there a world where we can see the Cardinals? Can we see Kyler coming back from, like, taking everything that's happened in this offseason, which has been a lot? Can he use this to kind of fuel him, be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to prove you all wrong. The biggest question was just like, well, does he deserve to be paid? What has he done? I'm going to prove to all of you that this is why you guys should.
Yeah, and
can he have a season?
That
like
should be the answer, Rachel.
Well, if the receiver's healthy. You know, once DeAndre Hopkins went down, it matters.
DeAndre Hopkins going to get him in the title game?
Once he went down, the team season just plummeted.
And they lost Christian Kirk and Chandler.
Yeah, that's not good.
Ooh, the NFC is full of.
Kyler Murray was on planet Mars in that playoff game. Yeah. Mars. And I root for him. I hope and wish him the best. I can't sit here and be like, yeah, that's the guy I'm going to pick to go to the title game. I'd rather go with Kirk Cousins.
I was there. Rams' house literally ruptured my eardrums. That's how stoked they were. Okay.